Daf Lamed Dalet Amud Aleph will begin Lamed Gimel Amud Beis, 4 lines from the bottom. Yosef Rapap. We were discussing the case where the Eruv was on the top of a tree, and if he was on top of the tree Lamala Me'asara, more than 10 high, and he was Niskavan Lishbais on the bottom, which was a Rishos HaRabim. So we said if the Eruv was in a basket on the top of the tree, and then the Eruv is an Eruv. So the question is why? So one solution was that the tree itself was not Dalet al Dalet. It's only that the Kalkala was Mashlam Dalet al Dalet. The second test we had, Rabbi Yirmiyah said that even if the tree is Dalet al Dalet, the top of the tree is Dalet al Dalet, which means that the Eruv is in Rishus HaYachid. Now, if the Eruv is in Rishus HaYachid, is on the bottom in the Rishus HaRabim, so how can he bring the Eruv to him? Why should this be a valid Eruv? It's hu b'makom echad v'meru b'makom acher. It's not him and his Eruv are not in the same place. It's not hu v'meru b'makom echad. So why should it be a valid Eruv? So Rav Yirmiyah said, no, it's a kosher Eruv because since it's on the branch, it's in a basket. He has the ability to bend the basket, to bend the branch, bring the basket lower than 10. If the basket is Dalet al Dalet, so it's a Mokum Choshev. If he bends the tree and bends the branch and now it's below 10, that's considered a Carmelis. Now, again, we're going according to Rebbe that says, Kol Davar Mishum Shuos Loi Gozer Ben Hashmoshes. So even though midrabanan it's also to take from a Carmelis to the Rishus HaRabim, but Ben Hashmoshes they weren't geyser. So he has the ability to bring the Eruv to him, bend the branch. Now the basket will be below 10. It's a Carmelis, and he can bring it from the Carmelis to where he is Shavis, to where he's Shvisas, to where he's standing in the Rishus HaRabim, because that's an Isser D'Rabbanan, and it's Ben Hashmoshes is when you're kind of the Eruv. And there weren't guys are being a shmasha. So he says you have this ability, even though right now as it stands, you can't bring the Eruv to you. But if you bend it, you have an ability to do it. By doing something, you have an ability to bring it to you, to bring it to a place where you can get to it. So therefore, it's a valid Eruv. So now the Gemara is discussing this and analyzing this. Yosef Rapava Koam Malash Maisi said over this explanation of Yirmiyah Rab Bar Shva L'Rapapa case if you have a case where Erev Shabbos Friday is Yontif, and then it's Shabbos, and he wants to bring the Eruv for the Tchum, case Malicha Barishon, he takes it on Friday. So actually, he takes it on Thursday on Erev Yontif. Yontif is Friday, so he takes it on Thursday. He places the Eruv to where he wants to be kind of Shvisa, and he stays with it until nightfall. So he stays there until nightfall, so he's kind of the Shvisa over there. Now over here, as Rishaim point out, the person who is there is a Shaliach, he's taking the Eruv. So reason why he takes it on Thursday, he has to stay there, because since the owner, the one who's kind of Shvisa, is in his house, in order to designate this place as the Malkum Shvisa, someone has to physically, the Shaliach has to physically be resting there. So he places the Eruv on Thursday, and then he remains there until nightfall. And then, afterwards, he takes the Eruv with him, right? Because he has to ensure that he wants to use it for the next day, so he wants to make sure that it's intact. So he takes it, and he takes it back with him. B'sheni, and then on Friday afternoon, he takes the Eruv Machshechalov, and he goes to the place where he wants to make the Eruv. So then he's kind of the Shvisa for it, and then if he wants to, he can eat the Eruv, and he can come home. So what do we see over here? We see over here is that he has to be kind of the Eruv for Shabbos, he has to bring it back to the place. He has to bring it back to that place, he has to take it there, and in order to be kind of the Shvisa. So according to Yirmiyah, why does he have to take it back to that place? Why don't we say, Neving Ati Boy Am Tuya Matsi Mamtale? Why do we say that just like Rabbi Yomi said, he has the ability to take it to that place. So you also say the same thing. He has the ability to take it. He can take it and carry it to that place. So he should be kind of shvisa even if he doesn't place the Erev in that place. Even if he didn't place the Erev, we should say that, but he has the potential to bring it to that place, and therefore he should be kind of shvisa even if he didn't put it in that place. Why does he have to actually put it in that place? That's the way Rashi is learning the question that Taisus asks on him. How can you say you can bring it to the place? Even though Rav Yirmiyah said that you can bend down the tree and you bend down the basket below 10 and you have the ability to take it, but that's because that you have the ability to take it because it's brought to a Carmelis, and Rebbe was not geyser ben hashmashas on a shvus, so you can take it from the Carmelis to the Rishus HaRabim. But over here, if the Erev is in your house, you can't take it from your house to the Mokum of the Shvisa, where you want the Erev to be Kaina, because you can't take it from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. So Teizer Rabbeinu Peretz explains Rashi means to say not that actually you leave it in your house, meaning why do you have to bring it all the way to the Mokum Shvisa? At least take it out of your house into the Rishus HaRabim, which in a Mokum that's Meshumer, in a guarded place, and then you have the potential, you have the ability to bring it to the Mokum Shvisa by carrying it Pachas Midal Ramas Rishus HaRabim. Take it at small intervals of less than Dalet Amos at a time. You take it less than Dalet Amos, start again and stop, and you can take it to the Mokum Erev, even though it's also Midrabanan. But again, we're like Rebbe that Ben Hashmashas, you're not geyser on a shvus. So that's what it means. Meaning, why do you have to take it all the way to the Mokum Shvisa? Take it out of your house to a guarded place in the Rishus HaRabim, where you can bring it Pachas Midalet to the Mokum Shvisa where you want it to be. So why do you have to bring it all the way to your house? More answers. According to Rav Yirmiyah Mikra, then you shouldn't have to do this, but we're geyser in a case, this is a case where Yontiv is Friday. We're geyser on a case where Yontiv is on Sunday. Now, if you allow the person not to bring the Erev on Friday afternoon, in our case, not to bring the Erev Friday afternoon to the Mokum Shvisa, well, similarly, when Yontiv falls out on Sunday, you'll say the same thing. And you'll say that he doesn't have to bring the Erev from before Shabbos, from before Yontiv, from before Shabbos to the Mokum Erev where he wants to kind of Shvisa on Yontiv. Now over here, it wouldn't be an alternative, because even if the Erev was, certainly if it was in his house, it shouldn't be valid. You can't bring it to the Mokum Erev, Mokum Shvisa, but even if it was in the Rishus HaRabim, it still would not be valid. Because in that case, where it's Shabbos afternoon, then you don't have that ability to bring the Erev to the Mokum Shvisa. Because even though the Bein HaShmoshas between Motzei Shabbos, between Shabbos and Sunday and Motzei Shabbos, it's a Bein HaShmoshas, but on the end of Shabbos, we don't say we're not geyser shvus Bein HaShmoshas. And therefore, if we allow you not to bring the Erev to the Mokum Shvisa on Friday afternoon, then person will assume that similarly, when Yontiv is on Sunday, he does not have to bring the Erev actually to the Mokum Shvisa, to be kind of the Shvisa of the Erev for Yontiv, which is Sunday. And in that case, it wouldn't be valid, because he doesn't have the ability to bring the Erev to him, to his Mokum Shvisa. Because on the Bein HaShmoshas of Shabbos, on the end of Shabbos, we were geyser even a Shavuos. And a Shavuos is also on that Bein HaShmoshas. So you don't have the ability to bring the Erev to the Mokum Shvisa. So that we say, therefore, that before Shabbos, you have to bring the Erev to the Mokum Shvisa. You have to bring the Erev to the actual place where you're kind of Shvisa, where you want the Erev to be kind of. Because if we don't obligate you to bring it to the place itself, when Yontiv is on Sunday, you similarly might not bring the Erev to the Mokum Shvisa, and in that case, you don't have the ability to bring it on Shabbos, so therefore we were geyser in all the places. Esvei, Morasa Kashan Rav Yirmi and the Skavan Lishvis Bishus Rabim. We have a brisa that says if the person wants to make his Makom Shvisa and the Rishus Rab, and he put the Erev on a wall. So the way Rashi learns over here, he put it on the wall which was Dalet Amas away from him, because if it was the wall was in his Dalet Amas, then as we'll see, we're going to make a distinction between higher, lower, above 10 and lower 10, as we learned before. If it's within his Dalet Amas, we consider it all one Rishus Yochid going up, and for the purposes of the Erev, we consider it one Rishus Yochid going all the way up. So we're talking where the wall is Dalet Amas or more from where his Makom Shvisa is. His Makom Shvisa is in the Rishus Rabim. There's a wall that's Dalet Amas or more away, and he puts the Erev on the bread on top of the wall. So if it is below 10 tfachim, if the Erev was placed on a place that was below 10 tfachim, it's a valid Erev. In such a case, it's a valid Erev because you don't have a problem of bringing the Erev to him, because even though it's 4 amas away, and more than 4 amas away, and this is a Rishus Rabim, but again, he can take it Pachas Rishus Rabim, which is only also from the Rabbanan, and the Erev is kind of Ben Hashmashas, and we're not guys, Rishus Ben Hashmashas. But if it's Lamala Miyut Tvachim, if it's placed above 10 Tvachim, Ein Eruv Erev. It's not a valid Eruv, because if it's above 10 Tvachim, then it's in a Rishus Yochid. And if he is Niskal Dishvei Lamata, you cannot bring the Erev from the Rishus Yochid to the Rishus Rabim. It's not a valid Erev. Therefore, Lamala Miyutvachim Ein Eruv Erev. But however, Niskavan Lishvei Reisha Sheikh Reisha Migdal, if he wanted his Makom Deshvisa to be not on the ground, there was on top of a dovecote or on top of a closet or a tower, then Lamala Miyutvachim Eruv Erev. If he has the Erev was placed on the wall above 10 Tfachim, then in this case it's just the opposite. If it's above 10 Tfachim, it's a valid Erev because his Erev is in Rishus Yochid, and his Makom Shvisa is in Rishus Yochid, so he can bring it from one Rishus Yochid to the other Rishus Yochid. If it's below Yutfachim, now here we're qualifying this case. When we say below Yutfachim, what we mean specifically is if it's below Yutfachim, where it's 9 Tvachim and Rab Mekasmalov, they put their loads on, they place it over this. We learned previously that if you have a Amud Tisha and Rab Mekasmalov, if you have a pillar or a post or a wall that's 9 Tvachim high, and people, the Rab and the public use it, they place their loads there, they rest there, it's considered to be Rishus Rabim. So therefore, if it is now Lamatam Yutvachim, if the Erev is placed on this part of the, which is below Yutvachim, which is 9 Tvachim, so that means the Erev is in the Rishus Rabim, and he is in Rishus Yochid, therefore, Ein Eruv Erev. It's not a valid Erev. It's not kosher because they can't bring it from the Rishus Rabim to the Rishus Yochid. But if it's so, according to Rav Yirmiyah, that you say as long as he has the potential to bring it, it's a kosher Erev, well, what's the problem over here? V'mai achaname nema hoil v'yochel in taiso v'lavil l'seichasora. Why don't we say over here that he has the potential to bring it to him because he can bend over the migdal, bend over the shavech, bring it below 10, so he's only in a carmelis, and he can bring it from the Rishus Ram to a carmelis. And even though it's also Midrabanan, Mishum Shvus Legos Ben Shmasha, so it is accessible to him if the Rav Yirmiyah is correct. Amri Yirmiyah, he'll answer, if you could bend it and bring it down, that would be acceptable. But we're talking where it's fixed, it's nailed in, and you physically cannot bend it. So therefore you don't have this potential. That's why it's not an Erev. Rava says you don't have to say that. You can say even if it's not fixed, even if it's not attached in this place, and you could bend it. But another alternative is and we're talking where it's a very tall tower, a very tall shayvech, it's long, and therefore the mamtele pute also chutz l'arba amas. If you do bend it, it will go more than dalet amas away. Now, if he's niskavan lishvais, if he wants to now, if he bends over the migdal and he wants to be Rishavus on the migdal right now, if he bends it over, will be Dalet Amos away from him. If the Eruv is in on the Rishus Harabim on the Amud Tisha, which is a Rishus Harabim, he'll have to bring it. To get it, he'll have to pass over the pass over the Rishus Harabim to bring the Eruv. It'll be Dalet Amos and Rishus Harabim, which is a Doraisa, which therefore he cannot be kind of Shvisa. It's not accessible to him. So therefore, even if the migdal is not fixed, but if it's long and he bends it over, and therefore it's more than Dalet Amos away from him, and he would have to transport a Dalet Amos through the Rishus Harabim, it's not accessible. And before Shema asked the Kasha, well, we've said continually that Pachas Midalet Amos, if he carries it at intervals less than Dalet Amos, then it is accessible to him because that's the Rabbanon and Mishum Shvus Legozer. The Achreinim answer that in this case it's different because you'll have to avail yourself of a double potential. You have to say, first of all, it's the potential to, it's accessible to him, it has the potential to have it accessible to him because he can bend over the migdal, that's number one. And number two, he can take it pachos. Now, to say one of those, we would. But to say both, that it's accessible because he has the ability to bend it over and to walk also pachos b'dalet amos, we do not consider it to be accessible by having to avail ourselves of these two potential eitzes. So therefore, it's considered not accessible. So, Frank the Gemara, so the Brisa said that if we're talking in a case where it is below 10, lamata miyud, ein eruv eruv. If it's below 10, the eruv is not an eruv because if he is on the top of the migdal, on the top of the shevech, and the eruv is in the Rishus Harabim, then it's not accessible to him because he cannot transport the Rishus Harabim to the Rishus Yochid. Frank the Gemara, well, what do you mean? If there's a window and a rope, meaning if the eruv is attached to the rope from before Shabbos. Now, if something is attached on one end to his hand, and the other end it's resting even in a Rishus Harabim. If something's in a Rishus Harabim, but it's tied to a rope which is in his hand, then if he takes it and pulls it up, it's not considered like he's taking from the Rishus Harabim to the Rishus Yochid, because it's not considered to be completely munach in the Rishus Harabim, because it's being held on one end of it. He's holding it. He's holding a rope. It's tied. The item is tied to a rope which he's holding. It's not considered completely munach in the Rishus Harabim. So why is it not accessible? Then, if that's the case, laisa b'kavsa misna. Let him bring it. Why can't he bring it to the top of the migdal, through the window, or even without a window? Bring it on top of the wall, and therefore it's not considered a deraisa. It's not considered a hoitza or chnasa d'oraisa, and it's midrabanan. It's also mishum shvus legazer. The Gemara answers ein chanam de les bekavsa misna. We're talking the case where it doesn't have a rope and a window, and therefore it's considered munach in the Rishus Harabim, and therefore he cannot bring it to him. It's not accessible because he can't bring from the Rishus Harabim to the Rishus Yochid. So our Mishnah, coming back to our Mishnah, says in Sona Bebora Filamak Me'ama, if you put it in a bore, even if it's 100 amas deep, then the Eruv is a valid Eruv. If you put his Eruv in a deep pit, even if it's 100 amas deep, it's a valid Eruv. In fact, Gemara High Bor, the Koyecha, where is this pit? If it's in a private area, it's Rishus Yochid, and there's a deep pit over there. Well, Pshita, Rishus Yochid Rakia. So Rishus Yochid goes straight up indefinitely, and just like it goes up indefinitely, it goes down indefinitely. So if there's a big pit, let's say in his yard, in his chotzer, it's a Rishus Yochid. So of course the Eruv is an Eruv. It doesn't matter how deep it is, doesn't matter how high it is, it's all one Rishus. It's accessible to him. Elamai will say the bore is a pit in the Rishus Harabim. Where was the intention to make his mokum shvisa? If he wanted to make it on top on the street, meaning in the Rishus Harabim, then it's not accessible. Why should it be a good Eruv? He's in Rishus HaRabim, the board is in Rishus HaYachid, he can't get to it. It can't come to him. And ilamata, and if it's talking where he wanted to make his makam shvisa in the pit below, well, what's the problem? Shita hu ve'eruv makam echad. They're both on Rishus HaYachid. So why do you have to tell me that? It's davar poshet. The Gemara says like tzricha lekayber karam, and it's saying that the bore, the pit is in a karmel. Sfiniskavan lishbeis lamala, and he wanted to make his makam shvisa lamala on top in the karmelets. The Rebbe he damar kol modavar shemishum shus legazo ben ishmasha is. So now the Eruv is in the bottom of the pit, which is the Rishus HaYachid. His makam shvis is on top, which is the karmeles. It's also midrabanan to bring it from the pit to the karmeles. The chiddush is, nevertheless, it's a good Eruv because we're going according to Rebbe that this isser is an isser derabanan. You're kind of the Eruv ben ishmasha is called davar shemishus legazo ben ishmasha.